today I got a package from Liron paper. What up friends, Liron here, how are you all doing? Today I had a very special day. I woke up on the left side of bed and this crazy guy in the metro tried to scare me and it was like, whoa, like this, I don't know what the hell he wanted from me. But anyway, today I got my delivery from Liron paper. So I don't really know exactly what's in this, but I'm happy and really excited to find out. I contacted them and let them know that I'll be happy to review a paper of theirs because I was recommended here actually on YouTube. And so they sent me it really fast, I have to say, so good job. So yeah, let's just do a little unboxing and then a little demo, review and see what's inside. Okay friends, so let's open this up. I'm really bad at opening stuff, but I like surprises, so it's okay. I see they glued it here. I just removed it, didn't come like this. I removed all the addresses and stuff. I'm gonna use the good old key trick. There we go. Check this out, I got it. I got it. Look at this. Oh. Okay, okay, packaging stuff. Ooh. Okay. There's a note here. I like it. This is some cool design here. Let's see. Ooh la la. Okay. I have no idea what it is, but let's take a look before we get to the good stuff here at the bottom. Okay, so this looks like samples of some sort. Okay, so I have samples here. So this is the block. Oh, looks really good. Okay, so yes, so I get it. They asked me what type of paper I usually work with. They were really cool, I have to say. And I told them, oh, look at this. And I told them cold press. So I guess this is cold press, as it says. Here, probably there's like cold press and hot press. Just testers, I guess, one of each. So this is really nice of them. Yeah, so let's just get rid of everything and take a look at this up close. Okay, so I just want to show you again all the components. There's this lovely paper. If you want to read, you can pause it. Making art, making paper is an art. And here, let's look at the sample for a moment. Really cool. So this is the cold pressed, I guess. Both cold press. Oh, okay, got it. Very nice, I have to say, very nice. So hot pressed here, we have one hot pressed and two cold pressed. So I will check these out. I think it would be really cool to now just test this cold press one and maybe in another video do a comparison between the two and just look at the results. So I think for now maybe we can leave the block aside and just do a test on this, but I do want us to just look at it here for a moment. So friends, I hope this comes through well. I'll help you if not. This is white. There are 15 sheets in this. It's 300 GSM, 140 LB, 9 on 12 inches, 22.8 on 30.4 centimeters. Acid-free, which is good for us. It will keep the paint for a long time. 100% cotton. Everything looks really good. Let's take a look inside here. So this is the paper. A standard block, and I wonder where you can open it. So it looks like it's gummed all around, but it's not really a problem to just get a palette knife or something in here. If you want to see the texture, let me try and help you get a good look at it. Can it focus here? Good. Okay, so hopefully you can see this cold pressed texture here, which is my favorite. Let me zoom in a bit again. Okay, so now you can better see the texture. Here's my finger for comparison of size. Yeah, so really cool. I'm excited to try this out. Let's set some stuff around here and give it a go with my new watercolors. So friends, I decided to be a little more well organized this time and actually create categories to test. So we will start with an even wash, then we'll do a gradual wash, then we'll see glazing, some wet and wet, lifting and dry brush, okay? So every time I'll just zoom in on one of them and we can see this paper in action. I think this methodical way of doing it, and this time I got it right, methodical, will be much better, okay? So let's zoom in here on the first area. So now all I want to do is simply get an even wash here. And I don't have the paper at an angle, it's just laying on the table. So the paint won't flow too much, but that doesn't really matter. Okay, so I'm just gonna start here at the very top. And I just love the way the color looks on this paper. I missed cold pressed so much, like true cold pressed, not the moleskin cold pressed, so cold pressed, you know. They say it's cold pressed, and like I have zero complaints about moleskin, really. Like it's fantastic paper when you're on the go and everything, but it just doesn't really have that much tooth. Now this one doesn't have serious tooth as well. We will see more when I'll dry brush. So yeah, this one doesn't have that much tooth, but still more, and you will see this, okay? So just got this cute little wash here inside the swatch, and I like it. I like the way the paint looks at it, on it, and I can see the texture and the pigment sort of being soaked into the paper. I will say this, that compared to what I feel back in the day from Arch, which I haven't used for a while now, is that this one takes a little more time to be absorbed, which could definitely be an advantage depending on what you're looking for. So this is my feeling right now just when working on it. I can see that the paint stays a little longer on the surface. Not really sure if that's a thing, but this is what I feel at least. So the next thing we will try here is the Gradual Wash. So let me just rearrange the camera. So I'll keep it simple and just use these two colors. We'll be using the Burnt Sienna and the Ultramarine, just to keep things nice and tidy. By the way, I love this texture that you see here on the very top. I like that the paper is cut a bit with some rawness to it. I really like it. So I'm just mixing here some of the Burnt Sienna, and we'll start again from top to bottom and slowly make a gradual change into the Ultramarine Finest. And it's really interesting because both this paper and the colors, the watercolor, the schminke, are something that's relatively new for me. So cleaning out my brush now and going for the Ultramarine. So these two are new for me, which is a very interesting experience because I really don't know if some of the things I experience are due to the paper, due to the color, or due to something else, you know. So it's just very fun for me to discover new things. And I really didn't try and make it too gradual. I just let them mix one into another in a pretty raw way here. You can see some paint went here. The one thing I did notice here, and because I played around with it and did some wet and wets that I can show you here, and we'll soon get to that. The one thing I did notice that the color slides on the surface very easily. Maybe it has to do with the fact that this has slightly less texture than the Arch that I'm more used to. I don't know, but you can see here how the color really flew freely, and we're not even at an angle. Okay, so this is just an interesting thing I noticed already, and I like it. So now we have the glazing, and I'm just gonna rearrange it once again a bit, and we're gonna glaze using the Ultramarine, okay, over this. And I just want you to see everything here, trying to make it work. Let me put this one aside like this, so you can see everything. Okay, so now this looks better. I'm just mixing here again a bit of Ultramarine, and I want it to be a relatively light wash because I don't want it to overpower the Burnt Sienna here. I want it to sort of complement it as we glaze. I want the transparency to come through. So a lot of mixing just to make sure I get it right. I think this looks good. And we can start laying this paint here. And you can see, maybe a little darker. We'll need some more pigment. And you can see what this looks like. So maybe even let's vary the glaze a little more and add a little more darkness to it here. So you can hopefully see what this looks like. I have a bit of paint flying in every direction because I'm... yeah. So basically when glazing, and Steve Mitchell from The Mind of Watercolor did a very good video about it. You just want to lay down that second wash without interfering too much with the first wash. You want to keep the first wash, not reactivate it and make it work again. Seems like it was pretty easy to do that here. I can see that the bottom layer here, especially, you can see this, and the edge is completely dry, and just the top layer is wet. So yeah, this seems to work pretty well as well in this example. Just getting some of the excess water in here. So the next thing I want us to try is actually the wet and wet. So let me rearrange here again and we'll move on to that. So for this one, I think we'll stick with the blue here. I'm just cleaning my brush very well. And what I'll do is use it to wet the paper with some water, and then come back and do some wet and wet into it. Drop some paint into the wet area and see what it looks like. So it's very interesting to see how the paper responds to that, because on the one hand it seems like things take a little longer to absorb, but on the other hand, I don't know, let's just check it out. So just mixing some paint here. And remember, always when you do wet and wet, you want the mixture here to be thicker than the water there. Otherwise, it will just do some weird stuff to it. So I'm just putting in some, and now I'm using a very light mixture, okay? The lightest I could get probably and still get away with. So now I'm adding a little more pigment to it, and you can see it's a tad bit darker. And finally, let's start really darkening this up. And you can see here. The Ultramarine Finest doesn't go as dark as I'm used to with the French Ultramarine of Daniel Smith, at least. I'm not sure how the two really compare, but you can see how the wet and wet here works. And I do find that, yeah, that the paint flows more freely. And the water also. So this is really a matter of personal preference. If you like the paint to spread very easily, and it also depends on the pigment, to be fair here, then this is really good paper. So just trying to get in some darker spots here and there for you to see. This will be fantastic for one of those galaxy paintings. You know, you just go darker and darker and darker until there's almost no white, and then you sprinkle some white into it. These are usually done all wet and wet. So anyway, this is how it reacts when done wet and wet. So next we're gonna try some lifting. And this is something really good because I did notice that the paper is really robust. So I'm gonna go back to some burnt sienna here. And I want to put down a wash. And I then want to kind of torture it. So this is basically what I'm doing. So my brush is now damp. I put it in the water and wiped some of the paint off of it. Now I'm just trying to go over this area with some wet water. Now I'm gonna dry my brush almost completely, and you can see it lifts fairly easily. Now I'm not a big fan of lifting. I never do lifting just for fun. I almost always do it just out of bare necessity. But if you want to lift, this one seems like it is capable of handling some rough action on it. Let's actually allow this part a few more minutes to just dry, and then come back and try, when it's almost dry, try and lift it off and see what happens. Okay, so now the top part is a little drier. I'm coming back with, again, a damp brush, just wetting it a bit, coming back, drying the brush a little more, and doing the same thing again. And you can see how near the middles of the wash it's a little easier. I'm not using a brush that's really ideal for lifting. It's a silver black velvet, and usually you want to use the stronger ones. But anyway, these lift fairly easily from this paper, and it can take, it's very robust. Actually, in terms of buckling, it's interesting to see, but not a lot of it. I will zoom out later and show you. Not a lot in terms of buckling. It can really handle it well. So anyway, the next thing I want us to try is some dry brush, okay? So let me rearrange stuff here, and I'll be back in a moment. So for this little experiment, I'll be using the Ultramarine once again. And what I want to do is make a strong wash, not really wet, dry actually some of it on the towel, and now come back and try and get some of the paper texture to show. So it's a bit too dry. I'm gonna do it again, and you can see how that works. I was actually, in my previous experimentation, was able to get more of it to show. So let's try again, and there you have it. You can see here where it's breaking up, and this is really good. Actually, yeah, I really was able to get more out of it. I think the consistency is different. Take a look at this. I love to use the cold pressed texture for that. So you can see it here. This technique also takes a little practice, and because I used my moleskin for so long, I actually didn't practice this one in a while. But yeah, I can try and come back in a few moments when this is dry and just put some more of these marks here. But anyway, yeah, now my brush is almost completely just with paint. I'm gonna dry it off once again, just try to put in some marks here. And you can see, oops, sorry about that, how some of the texture is showing through around the edges. You can see this here. So yeah, I love this. The texture here is a little less significant than in the Arch cold pressed from my own experience. This is what I feel like, at least, but still very much there. You can definitely use it. Let me zoom out a bit so you can see everything. So there you have it, friends, all of the little experiments we've done here. We have the even wash, we have everything is dry now almost, aside from this one that's a little bit more wet. We have the even wash, the gradual change, some glazing action, wet and wet, lifting, and some dry brush that went into the lifting space just to get some more examples of it. In terms of again, the paper is fairly strong. There's barely any buckling here, and I didn't tape it, didn't like anything. It's just the paper on the table. Okay, now I also didn't really do something that's too demanding. I didn't place a whole large wet wash, and this is something you will see when I'll actually make a painting with this one, so stay tuned for that. But for now it looks like it's still very robust, very strong. So this is it. Let's move on to wrap up this video. Friends, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this little review and demo. I'm very thankful for Legion Paper for sending me this, and I will put a link in the description box below so you can check out their paper. My first impression is really good. I do have this block that I still need to check out and test and see how I like it. But the paper itself and the paper I presented it on is the same one as in this block, so I think we're all gonna love it. I also want to do a comparison video between the cold pressed and the hot pressed, so we will do something like this, like really side by side, really clear. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little unboxing and demo. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you did. I post daily videos, and also follow me on Snapchat and Instagram. I see a large flow actually now on Snapchat, a lot of people coming there every day, and I'm so happy about it, so thank you all. And the people that follow me there know it's a little more interesting in terms of you can see some more personal stuff, like actually what I'm doing. I'm trying to use it to communicate more and more, like more freely, like even my frustrations and things like this. Today was a slow day, so sorry about that, and if you're there you saw it. So anyway, yeah, this is it. I will see you again in another video tomorrow.